Good morning, class. I'm Coach Walker. Today, for our lesson, we're going to learn how to do a serve in tennis. A serve in tennis has a couple of different components. The first that we're going to talk about is the toss. To begin your serve, if you are right-handed, you're going to toss with your left hand. The important part about the toss is that you don't put a lot of spin on the ball when you toss it, because that will cause your serve to either go straight down or go straight up, depending on the spin that you put on the ball. So we want to try to throw the ball so that it has little to no spin on it. And the way that you do that is by holding it with your fingertips instead of holding it deep in your palm. So you want to hold the ball in your fingertips. This would represent the service line in tennis. Our helper over there, Ethan, is going to be simulating the returner on the other side of the court for me. So we're going to say that I'm serving to the left service court on the opposite side. Right, so I'm right-handed, so I would have my left hand up. Now, no spin on the ball, I want a high toss, right? We want to imagine, if we put our racket straight up, that the toss is high enough that we could stack another racket on top of it, and the toss will be at just the apex of the racket. So we want a nice high toss. We want it straight above our head, okay, straight above our head, so that when we come through, it makes solid contact with the racket. Now, once we toss the ball up, the cues that I want you to remember for the actual serve is step. We're stepping with opposite foot towards our target, so that would be Ethan over there. We're going to step, snap our wrist at the top, and we're going to follow through with the racket, okay? So, if I was actually teaching this lesson, I would start with the students just having them work the toss, and the way that you can do that is by placing the racket at your feet and just have them working to try to get the toss to land right on the racket. Now, this is not an actual tennis racket, it's a lot smaller, so it would be a little more difficult, but you can just have them do this, let's say 5 times, to see how many times they can land it on the racket. And then once we get there, instead of hitting the actual ball to start, to practice our cues, we can practice the serve with no ball. So we would have our feet up, like I said. We're going to work on that simulated toss, step to the target, we're going to snap, and then follow through. And we can practice each part individually. So step, back, snap, through. Step, back, snap, through. And then we can combine everything to where we're doing just step, and then snap through, step, snap through, and then the whole motion together. And then once we do that, we can extend upward to our actual serve. That was terrible, but I have a bad shoulder. We're going to do one more time. That was perfect. So the way that I would assess this is by having each student practice their serve and see how many successful attempts they get in the adjacent service box out of 5. We're going for an 80% success rate. If the students are struggling, the way we can downward extend is by bringing them up further. So instead of standing behind the baseline on the court, we can have them stand behind the service box on their side of the court. And if we wanted to upward extend, if they were doing really well on the serve, we would put them in an application task where they do live serving with a return. Thank you.